Have you ever met someone who just can't resist giving you advice, whether you ask them for it or not? You know, the type who swoops in with all the answers, convinced they're the ultimate guru in every situation? Yeah, that's who I like to call the helpful narcissist. The other day I was casually browsing through the supermarket, minding my own business. My landlord, who is Indian, loves to show me how to cook different Indian dishes. One is a cabbage and potato biryani dish. The easy way is to take a packet of coleslaw and throw it in a pot with other ingredients. I initially took a packet of coleslaw that had grated carrots in and then put it back, opting for the packet with just cut cabbage as the price and weight were the same. As I had carrots at home, I realized I could make 2 packets of coleslaw from 1 packet of just cut cabbage and thus make 2 dishes. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, Karen appears and says, "No, you should not take that packet." Confused and wondering if the cabbage was off, I looked at it in my basket while she took a packet off a shelf that had grated carrots in and tried to swap it with a packet in my basket. I blocked her and asked, "Do you know what I want to cook?" Proudly she said, "That is not the way you make a salad. It has to have carrots in it." When I said I was going to make biryani, she calmly said, "No, you're not." I just commented that she should not assume she knows what is going on in other people's heads and walked away. She commented that I was an idiot for not taking the packet with shredded carrots in. And that is the essence of a helpful narcissist. They assume they are right and have this entitlement that they have the right to point out your perceived flaws. There is zero consideration that other people could have different preferences than them, or that the situation is not as they assume it is. She did not even care to ask me if she could help or if I wanted to help. She did not care to ask what dish I was thinking of making, and did not even ask why I put the packet containing the carrots back. Maybe I dislike carrots, but that clearly did not cross her mind, or she did not care. Because in her mind, a salad is only made one way, her way, and she had to inform me of it. And when she was shown to be wrong, she could not accept it, but got angry and reverted to insulting me. To me, she was a perfect example of a helpful narcissist. The entitlement that they can give you unsolicited advice. The grandiosity that their way is the only correct way. The delusion that they know what you are thinking. The inability to accept you have a right to make your own mistakes. The inability of them to accept that they can be wrong. And the anger they show for their advice being rejected. There are 4 main reasons why narcissists give you unsolicited advice. Narcissists often harbor deep-seated insecurities and fears of inadequacy that they suppress by creating a false self where they are brilliant in their eyes. But the insecurity never goes away and constantly claws at their mind. So narcissists desperately need other people to tell them they are great and wonderful, so the narcissist can feel great about themselves. One way narcissists get validation and admiration is to give advice to others, which also feeds their grandiosity that they are needed and the only one with the correct information. The problem they have is that not enough people come to them for advice to fuel their insatiable need for validation, which is the first reason they give unsolicited advice. They need validation and approval, but they cannot admit to themselves that they need others, so they convince themselves they are making other people's lives great in the process, and that people need them. Their desperate need for validation blinds them to the possibility that people may not want or need their advice, or that their advice may be wrong, as that would be a rejection of a narcissist's advice, and thus them, which in turn shatters the image of perfection and causes all their insecurities to rise up. When their advice is rejected, they experience fear, shame, and worthlessness, which they express as anger. The deep insecurities narcissists have cause them to question their worth and fear rejection. They fear rejection so much that they would rather manipulate people into giving and telling them what they want, rather than allow people the option to give it freely. In the narcissist's desperate drive to remove all attacks to their false inflated self, Narcissists have a deep urge to be in control of other people and every situation. By exerting dominance over others, they validate their worth. But it also gives them a sense of power and superiority to be able to control others. This causes narcissists to become control freaks where they can't resist meddling in other people's business, convinced they know what is best for everyone. By getting you to follow their advice, they feel like they are calling the shots and asserting their dominance, which is the second reason narcissists give unsolicited advice. To them, it is not about helping you, it is about them feeling powerful and in control, which suppresses their fear of rejection and inadequacy. However, narcissists do not see their advice as separate from them. When you reject their advice, they see it as a personal attack on them and their identity and a rejection of them, which makes them feel worthless, useless, and that they will be abandoned, which they are ill-equipped to deal with productively. The third reason narcissists give unsolicited advice ties in with the first two and is nothing compared to the shocking fourth reason. Narcissists need to feel they are the best. They need to feel they are in some way better than others. Even covert narcissists believe they are better than others, but that they were just not given the right opportunity to succeed, or that someone sabotaged their success. Which brings us to the third reason. To make themselves feel better and superior to people, narcissists devalue others. This is often done with backhanded compliments, but it can also be done through giving unsolicited advice. They want to show you how much more they know than you, and how wrong and useless you are. This will often be picked up in their comments where they hint at how stupid or lost you are for having the ideas you have or for doing something different than them. It's not enough to just say, this is a product you should buy. They have to say, you are stupid for not picking this product. The narcissist may also overemphasize the impact of their help on you. They may, for instance, say, how dull your life must have been up to now, not knowing how to make a proper cup of coffee. Lucky you have me to save you from a meaningless life. It makes them feel needed, allowing them to say that you would not be able to cope without them. Some see themselves as saints, walking the world where they save other people from disaster, even if it is only by stopping them from making a salad without carrots, an unforgivable act. The last reason may shock you, but don't fear, we have some good tips afterward on how to combat it. Our brains are a network of billions of connections and pathways, a complex dance of neurons and neural pathways that create intricate patterns which form your thoughts, beliefs, and memories. Research shows that for some people with certain personality disorders, which include narcissism, their wiring is messed up, resulting in the person's reward center to light up when they perceive others in pain. These people often go around thinking how they can mess other people's lives up so they can get enjoyment out of it. It's more than just feeling good about themselves. Imagine you give a gift to someone else and you see their face and eyes light up. You see the joy in them and you feel the joy in yourself. That's the feeling these people get when they see other people suffer and in pain. Which is the fourth reason some narcissists give unsolicited advice. They aim to give you false advice and cause you to make a mistake. When you question or reject their advice, it is not just a blow to their ego that they can control others, but a lost opportunity for them to ruin your life, which will give them endless pleasure. The more sinister ones are often covert, sadistic narcissists who will lure you in by getting you to trust them. They help you until you trust them with making a big choice in life, and then they strike and get you to make a massive mistake. For them, the harder they can make you fall, the more powerful they feel and the more pleasure they get out of your demise. How to deal with a helpful narcissist? Before I give you some witty comebacks, know this. Dealing with a helpful narcissist requires you to stay emotionally grounded. You will need to be socially aware and think ahead of the possible outcomes Because the narcissist is not. It is not right or fair, but it is in your best interest. Imagine you approach a traffic light that is green for you, and in the corner of your eye you see a speeding truck approaching the intersection. It is clear that the truck is not slowing down, and if you do not stop, the truck will hit you. It is not fair that you have to stop as the light is green for you, but now it has become your responsibility to take action to prevent the accident. It may be tempting to give a pesky know-it-all person in the shop who tries to tell you that your shopping choices are bad the middle finger and tell them where they can stick their advice. Or tell your annoying family member who criticizes you every holiday to go F themselves. But the person in the store is not thinking about the possibility that they and you can be banned from the store if they make a scene. And your family member does not think that you both may not be invited to family holiday get-togethers if they go into a rage for you telling them to keep their advice to themselves. If you can, just ignore them and walk away. If they persist, you could say, "Thank you for your suggestion, but I'm comfortable with my choices." Or you could try, "I appreciate your perspective, but I like to make my own mistakes." For the supermarket know-it-all, you could say, "Oh, the item is not for me. It's for the troll living in my backyard." If it is about a choice such as a career choice or a car or house that you want to buy and they are telling you not to, you could try, "I value your input, but I'm going to stick with what feels right for me." If you want to get a bit spicier, you could say, "Let's agree to disagree on this one. I've got it covered." Or, "I'm not looking for advice on this matter, but I appreciate your concern." If you want to go all peri-peri on a comeback, you could go for, "Oh, is this the part where I'm supposed to pretend I didn't already think of that?" Or, "Thanks, but I'm already enrolled in the Do It My Way program." Or, the eternal wisdom of X who knows everything in life. And, if I wanted your opinion, I would have asked Alexa, with a grand finale being, "Maybe you should focus more on being less of a know-it-all jerk." Always remember that know-it-all narcissists are exceptionally good at portraying themselves as victims when confronted. They often hide behind excuses like, "I was just trying to be helpful," or "I was just looking out for you." Sharing your experience of being upset seldom goes the way you hope, as many people will dismiss your feelings as you overreacting. Most people associate abuse with physical harm, and as the narcissist claims they had good intentions, people will often side with a narcissist in that you are being unfair for being angry. Even if a narcissist gave backhanded compliments, put you down, or invalidated you. Narcissists are like a storm. Whoever gets near them will be showered with toxic words. That's just who they are. Thus, it is often better to avoid the narcissist than try to expose them for who they are or try to hold them accountable for their actions, especially a covert narcissist who is slipperier than a ball of slime. Learn more about narcissism by watching the video suggested to you right now.